Hi everyone, good day. How are we doing? I hope we're having a good day. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. If there's anybody that should be here that is not yet here, please send them the link to the video so they can join. Send them the link to this session so they can join. How are we doing? Okay, so I don't want to waste our time. If you're here for the first time and you haven't watched my previous video, the link would still be on the channel. So please click on the link and go watch it, okay? You would be watching it late, but it's better late than never, right? So today we will be talking about the UK visit visa. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the UK visit visa, and okay, so today I will be sharing my screen with you. Okay, I'm not just going to tell you this is how you do it, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. No, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you so that we would do it together. Okay, I hope that you're happy to hear that. If you're happy to hear that, just drop it in the comment section. Let me know how excited you are about today's session. Let me know how excited you are about today's session. All right, so before we get into the screen sharing proper, I'm just gonna run down the types of UK visas, understanding what we're about to do basically, so that there's some things that you might miss out during the course of the application. I might even be a bit fast, but I'll try my best to be as slow as possible, okay, because this is something I've done over the years, many times over the years. So I will try as much as I can to be as not really too slow, but then as slow as possible, or to not rush the application. Okay. So now we all know that if you are Nigerian and you are not a citizen of the UK, or you don't have a permit in the UK already, you need to apply for a UK visa in order to go to the UK. And that is why we are here today. Right. If you're a travel agent, please pay attention, okay, while we do this together so that you can learn and then you don't miss out on some things. If you're a travel agent, by the way, and you did not watch my last video, my intro video, please go watch that intro video, because there are so many things that I talked about there that I may not repeat. Okay, so many things I talked about that I will not repeat. So please go watch it, okay, and make sure you subscribe so that you can watch my other videos, and then ask me questions. If there's anything you don't understand, please ask questions, okay? Don't be shy to ask questions. All right, so let's just talk about the major types of UK visas. There are several types of UK visas, but like I said in the intro video, we're majorly talking about either visit, work, or study. Now, no matter who is going to whatever country, you're doing one of these three things. Is either you're visiting for one reason or the other, or you're working, or you have decided to go there to study. Okay, some people will say, no, 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 I'm going to give birth. You're actually visiting so you can give birth and come back, right? If you're going for, let's say, a business conference, you're actually visiting for a business conference. It's going to be under the category of a visit visa. If your family member is sponsoring you, to come to that country, you're actually going there to either work or study or visit and come back, right? So it's basically the same thing. I just decided to group them under these three categories because these are the most common things that people do when they go to countries abroad. Okay, all right, so let's just talk about the different kinds of UK visit visas. Today we're focusing on the UK visit visa. Okay, so it's either you're visiting for tourism, that is just to sightsee, go around the amazing places in the UK, go to the palace and everything, right? So it's either you're doing that, or you're going to see your family member, with whom you would still move around, visit places and everything, go sightseeing, or you're going for a business conference, after which you might even still have the time to move around, right? To check out some few places, So these are a few of the reasons why you would want to visit the UK, maybe for business, for family, or just for tourism, or maybe to, I don't know, to buy things and come back, probably, So these are the types of UK visit visas. Now, let's look at an overview of the visa application process. Okay, we're going to run through it and then we would go into the application proper. So I'm just looking through my notes so that I don't forget anything that I have planned to discuss with you, all right? So the first one is preparing for the application. Now, how do you prepare for a UK visit visa application? I have talked about it in more detail in the intro video, so I'm just going to breeze through this one. If you have not watched the intro video, please go to the channel. The link is there. Okay, and if you can't find it, please indicate, so that indicate on the WhatsApp group or something, so that it can be sent to you. If you're not on the WhatsApp group and you're not on the channel, whoever brought you in, please send the message to the person. If you have me on Instagram, you can send me a DM. Let me know that you don't have the link, okay, and it will be sent to you, okay? You need to watch that intro video, because there are a lot of things that you need to understand. All right, it's not just about rushing into an application. It's about actually being intentional about dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Okay, I talked about a couple of scenarios where people who have even gotten visas to a particular country still got denied for one reason or the other. I talked about a couple of things, okay, several things that I'm sure you need to hear, okay? They will be a blessing to you. Amen. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so preparing for the application, first things first, you need to gather the required documents. Okay, you can't sorry, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to be making like references to the Bible once in a while, if that's okay. There's a place of the Bible that says you don't just wake up and start building a house without counting the cost, so before you start this application, you need to count the cost. And by counting the cost, I don't mean talking about how much the visa fee is. Of course, you would know how much the visa fee is. You'll find out how much the visa fee is. But I'm talking about gathering the requirements. Okay, what are the documents that are required? Okay, first things first, your international passport. I talked about it in the intro video that it is not just about having a valid international passport. It's about the validity of your international passport, the validity period of your international passport compared to the visa that you're applying for. Okay, so if you haven't watched the intro video, please go watch it. I'm not gonna like do that explanation again. All right. Secondly, you have to fill the application form online, of course. You have to have let's just run through the required documents, okay? First things first, your international passport, yes. Your proof of funds, yes. I talked a bit about proof of funds in the intro video, and I promised that I was going to make a video for proof of funds, which explains proof of funds and talks about some mistakes that we make, with proof of funds, and how to grow our proof of funds and all that. Your documentation, basically your travel itinerary, travel insurance if you need one, depending on how long you want to stay in that country. For this application, I don't know. I think I would make it that we are being invited. Okay, I'm not just going to do normal tourism, straightforward, visa. Most of the UK clients that I have had already have a family member in the UK that's inviting them. So I will just apply as someone that is being invited. Okay, so that we can see. I would want you to see how that is done. If it's a straightforward application, yes, straightforward. But then when you apply as someone that's being invited, you would also see what they ask about concerning the person that's inviting you, so that if somebody is inviting you to the UK, you know what documents to ask them for. Now, if somebody is inviting you to the UK, you need a copy of their passport biodata page. If the person is a Nigerian like you, that is your family member, you need a copy of their visa, okay, the permits that they have in the UK. Are they there for work? Are they there for study? What exactly are they there for? You would need their permits. If they have ILR, it is even amazing, fantastic. You will need a copy of whatever permit they have in the UK, okay, because you need to include it. You will need something that proves that they are related to you. Okay, you will need, if they are going to be included in their invitation letter that they are taking care of you financially, you will need a copy of their pay slips or their bank statements. Okay, so these are the things that you will need. With time, we would see it. There's a checklist that I would even, show you guys that would show all these things that you need. All right. So basically, you have to prepare for the application, put all these things together. Like I said in the intro video, it's good that you have all these things handy, because if you keep wasting time while you're filling in your information, it can even log you out and say you wasted time. I think the UK gives you about 20 or 25 minutes. It's actually quite lenient. I think the USA gives you like 5 or 10 minutes. And if you waste too much time, the session times out. Okay, and you have to log in again. Not necessarily to start over again, but if you have not saved if you didn't save your progress, my dear, like seriously, I wouldn't pity you, because you would have to start all over again if you didn't save your progress. So anyway, I'll show you that when we're applying for the USA visit visa, we're going to be doing all of that. Okay, we're going to be talking about all of that. Okay, now in order to navigate the online application, because of course UK application is done online. Okay, so we're going to be registering and creating an online account. Okay, we're going to be creating, because this is, I would have actually used the real client's account, but I don't want to share a client's details, of course. So I'm going to be creating a dummy account for us. Everything is going to be dummy, dummy, dummy. Yeah. So we would register and create an online account, and then we would fill out the visa application form. I would guide you. Don't worry about it. Just relax and keep your eyes peeled, okay? That's all you need to do. Just relax and leave your eyes open. you know. So after we fill out the application form, answer all the questions, the security questions, and all, we would then upload our documents, photographs, whatever it is you need to upload. You pay your visa application fee. For the UK, I think you pay the application fee before you upload. I think for US, you upload before you pay the application fee. Canada also, you upload before you pay the application fee. But for the UK, you pay the application fee before you upload. Okay, so I also talked about showcasing your ties and your intention. Okay, now I talked about it in the intro video, so I'm just breezing through. Okay, you have to demonstrate your strong ties to Nigeria. If this is the country you're from, like your employment, I talked about it, your employment, your family, your properties, your assets, basically, okay, your companies and all that. All right. You also have to clearly state the purpose of your visit and the duration of your visit. It has to be clearly stated, okay? And your invitation letter has to be convincing, okay? It has to be convincing, all right? Now, I moved on to talk about booking your biometrics appointment, okay? After paying your visa fees and all, you'll be directed to where you can book your biometric appointment. You schedule your appointment with the visa application center. Are you going to Port Harcourt? Are you going to Lagos, Abuja, Enugu? Where are you having your biometrics taken? You choose the place that you want. They would ask you if you want assisted service or self-service. I think for Lagos and Abuja, you can have the assisted service. Assisted service is where you take your documents along and they upload it there and then for you. Okay, let's say in your house, you're not able to upload your documents. Okay, they will take it there. You will take it there rather on your biometrics day, and they will upload it there for you. Okay, there and then. So that is the assisted service. For self-service, you would upload it in the comfort of your home. You can either scan everything and maybe convert to a good file, maybe PDF or something, and then you upload it from the comfort of your home, whichever one you want. Some people choose the assisted service because, let's say you apply for a visa before the end of the month, and then your payments, your bank statements, you need to wait till the end of the month to get your bank statement. You can apply for assisted service, and then when your bank statement is out before your appointment day, you print it out and then take it along, whichever one is comfortable for you. But heads up, Port Harcourt does not have assisted service. It's only self-service. Okay, so they don't upload anything for you in PH. Okay, you don't even see that option on their site. Okay, no assisted service. Okay, it's only self-service, and Port Harcourt is like a premium place, so you have to pay an amount of money in order for you to choose Port Harcourt. I think it's about £250 or so. As at as at the time of this session, it's about £250 or so. I think they also allow you to pay in naira. I don't know what the exchange rate is with our fluctuating exchange rates. I don't know what it is right now, but it's about £250 or so for Port Harcourt. Okay, for Port Harcourt. So that is that. You submit your application. You ensure that you have your documents ready. There's a receipt that they send to you after you pay your visa fees. There's an email they send to you which you would print out. Okay, because you have to show that when you are at the visa center, to show that, okay, I'm meant to be here, my biometrics date is this and everything. Okay, so you have to show that that receipt shows that you have paid for your visa, and it shows your biometrics date. Of course, you wouldn't have a biometrics date if you have not paid for your visa. Okay, so that receipt shows everything. Okay, so after submitting your application, you can track it. Processing time would definitely vary. If it will take more than the normal 15 days thereabouts, they will send you an email or they will send you a message. You know, now, when you apply for UK visit visa, sometimes they will send you a good message, an approval message, okay? But don't bank on that, okay? But how do I say it now? Now, if they do not send you an approval message, it does not mean that you haven't gotten your visa. Okay, I remember a friend of mine, I processed a visa for her mom, and then they just sent an email saying, "Oh, your passport is ready for collection, blah, 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 blah." They didn't even say, "Oh, you have gotten your visa, you have not gotten your visa." They just said, "Your passport is ready." Hey, she was nervous. She was nervous like crazy. I was also nervous because I processed this visa, and I was like, why didn't they send a congratulations or something? Like, they didn't send any congratulation message, nothing. What's going on? Guess what? By the time we got the passport, we saw that the visa was granted. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, whether they send you a congratulatory message or not, don't think that you did not get the visa. Okay, sometimes you have gotten the visa and they might not send you a message. I've had a couple of situations, I think over 11 situations, where they don't send you a congratulatory message, but they tell you to pick up your passport. Okay, so don't bank on it. That's what I'm saying. Don't just be hopeful and pray that, okay, I would get my visa. Now, Canada is a whole other ball game. Canada does not even ask for your passport before deciding if they should give you the visa or not. Okay, for Canada, you apply online and everything. You go for a biometrics, and then when it's time, they tell you to bring your passport for stamping, that kind of thing. If they don't give you the visa, if they want to deny you the visa, they send you a denial message. Okay, so Canada is totally different. Okay, so countries vary. Okay, that's why we're doing a couple of countries. We're focusing on a couple of countries that have different processes because these countries vary. Okay, all right, so now let's talk about whether your visa is approved or not. If your visa is approved, that's fine. Congratulations to you. You book your flights, you move, or if your flight is already booked ahead of time, you move. If your visa is rejected, you have to check the notes that they send to know why it was rejected. Okay, they would send you a note and talk about why your visa is rejected. Maybe your financials were not so good enough. Your financials were not good. That's why I need to talk about proof of funds separately, because there's a lot I need to cover when it comes to proof of funds. So that's just it. So you collect your passport, whether you were approved or your visa was denied, you would collect your passport. Now, if your visa is denied, you will be given the reasons. And when you decide to apply again, the good thing is that they tell you that your new application has nothing to do with your old application. You can apply again, you can reapply. What I advise is wait for a couple months before you apply again. But it's up to you. It's up to you, really, how soon you want to apply again. Let's talk about when your visa is approved, which is our prayer, right? You book your flight, you book your accommodation, depending on the situation with which you booked, you applied for the visa. If somebody is inviting you and you're staying over at their house, then you're good to go. You book your flight, you call them and everything. If you did not, pre-plan your accommodation, in any case, you might not even be granted the visa if you didn't pre-plan your accommodation. Let me just tell you now, because you have to have your accommodation planned. Like I said in the intro video, you have to convince the visa officer that you are not coming to stay under the bridge in their country. Okay, so you fly to the UK, you pass through the immigration. They might ask you one or two questions. You respond to the questions that they ask you and everything. And that is that. Okay, let me just check my notes. I think it's time for us to go ahead and actually get into the visa application proper. I mentioned in the intro video that you must make sure that you present your strongest case. Okay, make sure you present your strongest case at all times. Okay, make sure you present your strongest case. All right, so now let's go into the application proper. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you shortly. Okay, Let me open a new window for this. Oh gosh, I have so many windows open. Now I already have the link here because I have been applying a whole lot. But then I will probably drop the link to the UK application, UK visit visa application. I'll drop the link for you guys so you can save it somewhere, click on it when you're ready for, your own application and all that stuff. Okay. All right. So let's talk about, no, let's not talk. Let's start actually. Let us start. Okay. So this is it. This is the first page. Visit the UK as a standard visitor. So here is like the overview page. You can visit the UK as a standard visitor for tourism, business, study, and other permitted activities. You can usually stay in the UK for up to 6 months. Actually, 6 months is like the minimum, okay, the minimum time frame that you can get when it comes to visit visa in the UK. All right. So you might be able to apply to stay for longer in certain circumstances, for example, to get medical treatment and all that. All right. So you can read this on your own. I don't want to read through everything because it might be time consuming. What you need to do, check if what you plan to do in the UK is allowed as a visitor. Check that you meet the eligibility requirements. We already talked about this. Check if you need to apply for a visa to visit the UK. Check if your country is exempt. Let me just tell you now, straight up, as a Nigerian, your country is not exempt, okay? Your country is not visa exempt. So let's move on. Don't worry yourself. Don't worry. Like that is why I'm here. I'm here to help you out. Your country is not exempt. All right? Yes, yes, yes. So this list is basically talking about what you can and cannot do, okay? The activities basically that are permitted or not permitted, all right? Now, yeah, you can read these. This is a list of what you cannot do. You cannot do paid or unpaid work for a UK company. You cannot claim public funds. You cannot live in the UK for a long period of time. You cannot marry. You some people will just. I don't want to say anything. Seriously, I don't want to say anything. Let me not overtalk, okay? But you know yourself. Some people know themselves. Okay, you plan to go to a foreign country, find somebody and get married to. No, you cannot do that. Okay. If you want to do that, you would apply for a marriage visitor visa. Okay. If you're going to the UK to go and fall in love, kudos to you. But you do that, you fall in love, you come back first with the love. Then you can now apply for a marriage visitor visa, and God help you with that one. Okay, we're not going to go into that. All right, so that's it. Now we talked about eligibility requirements. We have talked about these things, these points. All right. So just when you're on your own with this link, you can, check all these things, read through, take your time to read through. Okay. All right. So let's go on to apply for the standard visitor visa, which is why we came. You can also apply for a visitor visa in transit. Okay. That's a transit visa. Okay. That's not what we're applying for, but the option is here. This one is to visit on business. Okay, the option is here. So when you're on your own screen, you do all this. Okay, you can explore these and start whichever one you want to start. Okay, all right. So let's look at this. Applying for a visitor visa. These are the visa fees. Maximum stay 6 months for this 105, 200 is 11 months, 200 is 12 months, 400 is 6 months per visit. Basically, you can see all of that, okay? When you even finish filling your application form, they will give you the price, okay? Sometimes they give you the price in dollars, which is fine because I feel like they know that it's more comfortable for us to an extent to apply in dollars. So that's why they give us in dollars. So let's just start. Okay, it's telling me to continue my application. I have like 3 or 4 applications running. Okay, no, I think I have just one now, one application running. But for the purpose of this application, I'm going to be using a different email address, so it doesn't affect my other applications. All right, so we're speaking English, of course. Select your language. Language is English. Okay. So let's go on. Select a country to provide your biometrics. What country do you want to provide your biometrics? If you're in Nigeria, you select Nigeria. Now, if you're in a foreign country, let me quickly say this, okay? If you are in a foreign country, you are a Nigerian, but you are in a foreign country and you want to move to the UK, you can apply for that UK visa, but you have to ensure that you have to ensure that that country that you're in, you have a permit to be in that country. Let's say, for example, you are in Poland, right? And you want to go to the UK. As a Nigerian, in Poland, you have a permit to be in Poland. If you don't have a permit to be in Poland, don't even try it. Don't try applying to another country from that country. You have to come back first to your country before you apply to that foreign country, okay? So let's say you are in Poland and you want to apply to the UK. You would have to upload your permission to be in Poland. Okay, you have to upload your Poland permit, either work permit or study permit. You have to get that permit and upload that permit in your UK application. Do you get what I'm saying? That permit, how did you get to Poland? Did you get to Poland on a visitor visa, on a study permit, on a work permit? That permit that you're given, you have to upload it in your UK application because you have to ensure, you have to assure them, that is the UK, that you actually have a right to be in that country, Poland, where you are. Okay, so whatever country you find yourself, ensure that you have that permit to be there, and then you upload it on the UK portal. Okay, I just said let me quickly mention that before we go ahead. Okay, I decided to quickly mention that. Now, this one is talking about the available visa application center location. So if you want to check for an available visa application center, you can click this and it will take you all the way there, and then you look for a visa application center. It's either Lagos, Abuja, Enugu, Port Harcourt. I have to check if they've added any new one, but for now, those are the ones. Okay, so now you must select a location, even if you believe you are unable to provide your biometrics at any location. So you have to select this. It says, I have identified the location where I will provide my biometrics. Okay, so next, let's go next. Okay, so this next one says, what you can use this service for, apply for a UK visit visa, this and that and that and that. Okay, when you cannot use this service, if you are visa exempt, I told you that we are not exempt. As long as you're a Nigerian like me and you don't have foreign citizenship, you are not exempt. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. So I'm not trying to rush you. Okay, I'm just breezing through. When you're on your own, you can read through these. Before you start, check what kind of UK visit visa to apply for, find out what supporting documents you need. We've already talked about that. This one is for TB test. If you're applying for a visa where you can stay in the UK for more than 6 months, you may need to get a TB test, depending on where you're applying from. So you check here if you need a TB test. Okay, let's quickly check that if you need a TB test. Let's see if you've lived in any of these listed countries for 6 months or more. All right, should we check the listed countries? Let's check the listed countries. Okay, let's just go down to N and see if Nigeria is here. Okay, if Nigeria is here, oh yes, let's begin now. Okay, let's begin proper now. Let's go back and begin proper. So like I said before, if you want, you can come back and read all of these, right? I don't want to take our time, so we will just go back to where we were. Okay, you can check here how long it takes to get your visa. For those who are wondering, how long will it take? Maybe you didn't apply early, like I said you should, in which case it will be on you. So yeah. So let's start. Okay, let's start. No more wasting of time. Let's just start without further ado, right? Let's just begin. Okay, so it's telling me that I already have another application open in my browser. You can only work on one application at a time. I know, but because I have people that I care about, let us start a new application. All right, so I'm gonna use a new email address. Okay, let me type in a new email address, maybe something that I have not used before. So the thing is, it's advisable not to use one email address for two applications until that previous application is done and maybe the person has gotten his or her visa. I don't use one email address for two because I mean, you never can tell, right? So yeah, I don't even take that risk. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. I hope it's the same. Save. Yes, save. No thanks. I hope we can see what I'm doing, right? Okay, so it's asking now that you have created this profile here with this email address, every time that you log out, let's say you're not ready to complete your application in one day or in one session, okay, of sitting on your system or on your phone, it's going to send an email to that email address. Let's say now you say, okay, let me return to my application letter. It's going to send you a login link, okay, to that email address. So whenever you come back and say, oh, let me continue this my UK application, all you have to do is go to that email address, right, and go to your inbox and click on that link that they send you. They're going to send you a link, okay, that's going to take you here. Okay, so you don't have to like keep searching for the UK link and say, oh, where's the link to the UK website and everything. No. It's going to send you an email. Okay, we'll check it out. We'll check it out. All right, so let's continue. Who does this email address belong to? You or someone else? You. All right, do you have an additional email? Now, if you are a travel agent and maybe you would like to insert the email address of your client, okay, because the first one has to be your email, right? Let's say you want to insert the email address of your client, you can insert it here. For me, I do it when it comes to phone numbers, okay? When they ask for phone number, I insert my number, okay, because I would like to know, when they send us information and all that. I insert my phone number, and then when they say, do you have an additional number, I then insert the client's number, okay, so that at least they have those two numbers. So if you're a travel agent, you can decide to insert your client's email address, and all that. Only include numbers, and for international numbers, include the country code. You will be able to add any additional telephone numbers after you click save and continue. Okay, so where do you use this telephone number? For use whilst out of the UK, right? Okay, is this your home telephone number, business, or mobile? So I've chosen business, yeah? Business telephone number, okay. Do you have any other telephone numbers? Like I said, this is where I say yes. If you say yes, they will give you a space to insert another telephone number. Okay, so when you insert another telephone number, they will then ask you, do you want to, which telephone number do you want to receive information, blah, 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 blah. You will now choose the telephone number, okay, that you want to use to receive information. So you can insert your client's telephone number there, like I said before. So now, are you able to be contacted by telephone? Now, there was a day I selected, I can only be contacted by text message, and I think they asked me why or something like that. So since then, I don't even bother. I just say, yes, I can be contacted by phone call and text message. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Yeah, so now let's go into the application proper. And this is where I say that it is good for you to have your travel document or the client's travel document. Now, I am not saying as a travel agent, it is not necessary for you to go and collect the client's passport. You don't need the client's hard copy passport. What you can do is tell them to send you their soft copy because really that's what you need. Okay, I'm saying this for those who want to be travel consultants. You don't have to tell the client, send me your passport from whatever city you are in. No, you don't need their passport. Okay, you don't need their passport. You only need an e-copy. Okay, by passport I mean they are international passport, not passport photograph. They are international passport. So you only need their e-copy because you need to fill in these pieces of information, right? So let's begin to fill in the pieces of information. Like I said, this is a dummy account, right? This is a dummy application. So many things I fill in here might not even be like real stuff. Okay, so do as I say, not as I do, or something like that. Don't fill in. Okay, sorry. This is your given names. Given names means your names that are not your surname, your first name, middle name. Okay? So here I'm filling in mine, Esther Zuri. I have this weird habit, okay? Like sometimes when I'm working on visa applications, I just make everything in all caps. I think it is the US that writes everything in all caps automatically, But then let me be civil in this one since people are watching me. Right. Okay, so let's go on. In addition to the names already provided, are you now or have you ever been known by another name? Now, this is especially true, especially important rather, for people who are married. Okay? People who are married or people who have a different name that they use for professional purposes. Okay, this is where you fill it. Sorry, excuse me. This is where you fill in if you have changed your name or you have a professional name now and all that stuff. Okay. So if yes, if your name is different from the name that you used to bear, or maybe you're married and you've changed your name, you click on yes, they would ask you a couple questions like, okay, what's your old name, blah 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 blah. But now the answer is no, I'm not yet married, so it's fine. Your sex and relationship status. What is your sex as shown in your passport or travel document? Now, this third option, I do not understand what it's for because okay, let's just move on. Okay, let us just move on. Right. Female. Female. I know my gender. Okay. What is your relationship status? Single. So basically, relationship status, you choose which one is yours, right? Are you married or you have a civil partner? Do you have an unmarried, a partner that you're not married to? That's still, yeah. Divorced or civil partnership dissolved, separated, if you're separated from your spouse, widowed or a surviving civil partner. You choose which one is yours. I have chosen mine. I don't know what yours is. Or if you are not sure of yourself, see this line here. I am I am unsure. Sometimes these things make you laugh. Okay. If you're not sure, maybe it's complicated or whatever. You're married, but you don't know if you're married or you're whatever. You just you just choose this one. I think they would ask you to specify if you click on this. So just make life easy for yourself. Choose one of the ones they have given you already, one of the options, okay? Don't mind me. So my address, let me use my office address. Butcher Road, Port Harcourt. Now, because this is a dummy application, I'm doing this, okay? But you need to like be more, explain more, give a fuller address, basically. Is this address also your correspondence address? Notice that they ask for the address, you write your address, you write your town and city, write your province, region, or state, depending on how it's called. In Nigeria, we call it state, right? Then the postal code, if you know the postal code, forgetting of postal codes, you can go online, you can just quickly browse Port Harcourt postal code or so postal code, and you will get it, okay? It's not rocket science, okay? So don't think we have to do anything special to get the postal code. It's just there online, okay? You can get the postal code if you want, if applicable. Is this address also your correspondence address? In other words, they're trying to ask if they can use this address to contact you about your application, including after it has been decided. So yes, if you say no, they will ask you about, they will ask you your correspondence address. But there's no need writing two addresses. Okay, just write the address that you can be contacted by or your stuff can be delivered to. Okay. Now let's go on. How long have you lived at this address? Select a unit of time and enter a value. Let's say years. Let's say 5 years, maybe, right? What is the ownership status of your home? Do you own it? Do you rent it? Or is there another reason? Let's say I own it, right? This is one time in my life that I can just boast to be whatever I want to be, right? So please let me revel and bask in this. Okay, so passport number or travel document. reference number. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, what is this stuff in the box here, right? Up here, up here, up here. Service updates, priority visas. Okay, that's what they're talking about. Priority visa services are available for visit visa applications in most locations, but there is reduced availability. If available in your location, you will be able to purchase this on the TLS or VFS websites when you book your appointment to give biometrics. So when you get to that stage of giving your biometrics, you will see a place where they ask you if you want the priority visa, fast track visa and all that. You understand? Super priority visa services are available for visitor visa applications in several of our locations with no change on availability. Okay, so you can, go check that out later. Okay, so now let's move on. Passport number or travel document reference number. I'm going to choose one of these because I think these are for like previous clients. So I'm just going to choose one of them and move on. Issuing authority, Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria. Issue date. What date do we choose? Let's choose my birthday, 14th April. You're going to be seeing a lot of 14th April. Okay, guys, so let's talk about valid national identity card. That's your NIN. So we're just gonna say yes. Okay, because they said it includes identity cards issued from non-UK governments. This does not include driving licenses. And, if you have an internal passport, provide the details here. Basically, your NIN, okay? Your NIN, basically, for us Nigerians. So I'm just going to choose anyone here. Okay, I don't know who I don't know who they're for, but yeah, the right details. All right. So date of birth, let's put something in here. 14th April. What year do we put? Let's say 1994. Save and continue. Okay, your other nationalities. Do you currently hold or have you ever held any other nationality or citizenship? Now, if yes, you click on yes and then you provide all nationalities that you currently hold. Now, if you happen to hold a nationality that does not require a UK visa, then it means that you have been wasting your time with this visa application. Yeah. But if you don't and you're like me, let us click no. Okay. Let us click no because I don't hold any other nationality, right? But if you hold another nationality, you may have to provide the details, the country, the passport details, and all that. Okay, so that is that. Employment status, employed. Okay, save and continue. Your employer's name. Okay, I have two here. Let me choose Jada Sky, employer's address. Okay, so I'm doing this because it is a mock application, please. Of course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Don't just put any address there, okay? Actually get these things from your clients and put them in there. Ask your clients all these questions so you can put them in there, okay? So, like we did before, for your address, there's employer's address, town and city, province and state, postal code if applicable. Like I said, you can check online for the postal code of wherever you want. All right. Employer's telephone number. Let me put this, which is my telephone number. The date you started working for this employer. Now, mind you, these things are intentional. Okay, they're asking you intentional questions. Don't forget. All right, they're asking you intentional questions. All right, so try to remember what day you started working for the employer and have it at the back of your mind. Okay. Now your job title, what job title should I choose now? I have like three options: assistant manager, manager, chief operations officer. I kind of like this one. Let me choose this one. How much do you earn each month after tax? Should we choose Naira or Great Britain pounds? Let's do Naira, okay? Let's do Naira. I think it's safer, if you earn in Naira to write in Naira. Okay, since it's only Naira and pounds. If you earn in dollars, you can maybe change it to pounds or Naira, but I think this is safer. So let's write 500,000 because 500,000 is a decent amount. If you write that you earn 500K and you spend 200K out of the 500K, it means you've been saving 300K or something like that. I'm just saying. Describe your job. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to be hooked with the lie. When they say that If you tell a lie, you have to tell another lie to cover it up. That is what is happening here. Okay, because now that I have said I'm chief operations officer in a company, they have asked, "What do you do? Describe, describe what exactly you do in that company." So anyway, I've written this now. Please take note. If you are actually filling this application for real, don't just write one sentence. Okay, really describe your job as much as you can. I'm not saying you should write a whole essay, but describe what you can describe. Okay, as much as you can, describe your job. Okay, yeah. So I just thought to put that out there because I don't want somebody to come and say, okay, this is what she did, or our teacher said we should do this. She wrote only one sentence. Please describe your job for real. Okay, yeah. Do you have another income or savings, like other regular additional income? Now, this is where I say always tell the truth, because if you have other income or savings, that explains a lot. If you bring an account statement of, say, 10 million naira or something, you don't have additional income, and your 6 month statement is showing 1 million naira comes into your account from wherever. I mean, it is, red flag. There's a red flag somewhere. I'm just saying, so let's say savings. How much money do you have in savings? It's giving you the option of only pounds. So I could say 4,000 pounds. Yeah. Now, it is saying you should send in proof of your savings if this is your only source of money. Okay, so you have to send in proof of your savings. So let's save and continue. They have their reasons. There are reasons why they ask these questions. Okay, now, how much money are you personally planning to spend on your visit to the UK? Now it says you should enter the total amount of money that you intend to spend on your visit to the UK. Estimate the amount of money including flights, accommodation, and everyday expenses. Okay, if you want to visit, all the places you want to visit and all, just estimate, including accommodation. If you're not staying with someone, you have to include how much you're spending on accommodation. You understand? So if someone else is paying for all or part of your visit to the UK, you will be asked to provide details of this later on in the application. All right, so let's write, say 2,000 pounds, or let's be more realistic, 3,000, right? Because you were asked to include flights. All right, so let's just say, include flights. Now let's talk about your financial situation. What is the total amount of money you spend each month? That is include everything: living costs, money given to dependents, blah blah blah. Let's say 250,000 naira, because your salary was 500K, so 250K is nice. Yeah. Will anyone be paying towards the cost of your visit? This includes any costs being paid by an employer or a company, or if you are being given any money. Yes, say yes. Okay, that is from the start we said that we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to apply as if somebody is paying towards the cost of your visit. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, now, oh, see my name there, my little name over there. Yeah, the small corner over there. All right, so now who is paying towards the cost of your visit? Is it your employer or your company? Is it another company or someone you know? I said someone you know last because that is what we're choosing, right? Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Someone I know, for example, family or friend. Now, what is the name of this person? Now, like I said, this is a dummy. This is a dummy. So, okay, it's even here. Emmanuel Wealth. This is a dummy address as well. Number what? Okay, let's use this one. Lord have mercy. Okay, let's use this one. Are they gonna give me something? Let's use okay, so Suffolk. Yeah. Postal code, if applicable, no. I don't want to start checking for postal code right now. I'm hoping they will allow me pass. I'm hoping they will allow me pass. Okay, how much money will they be paying towards your visit? Let's say the whole 3,000. Why are they helping you pay? He is my brother. I mean, write something more convincing, all right? We're just feeling this together. So, he's my brother and he has not seen me. I have not seen him for so number of years and so on and so forth. So let's talk about more help towards the cost of your visit. No, wow. It's making me feel like I have to create a GoFundMe just to a GoFundMe among friends just to visit the UK. Yeah. Yeah, but they really just want to know. Okay, maybe the first one might be a company, the second one might be your relative. Okay, they just want to know if you have more help. So if you have more help, you write it there. Date you plan to arrive in the UK. Let's see. 1st of March, 2024. Date you plan to leave the UK. 1st of April, 2024. Right. I'm just saying tentative date. Now, apply way ahead. I said it in the intro video that you have to apply way ahead. Always remember to apply way ahead. Spoken language preference. Okay, English, please. For those of you that understand more French than English, you can choose you can choose French or something else, right? What is the main reason for your visit to the UK? Okay, I talked about, people having different reasons to visit the UK. This is it now. Okay, so we're going to choose tourism. So because tourism covers visiting family and friends, okay, so that is where we're headed, right? So we're just going to save and continue. What is the main reason for your holiday visit? Now they have asked you what is the reason, right? Now they are saying the main. I love this application. Like UK application is interesting. So let's choose visiting family. Okay. If you're going as a tourist, you choose tourist, right? Now give details of the main purpose of your visit and anything else you plan to do on your trip. Okay, see tourists and short stays for more information. So because this is a dummy application, I'm just gonna write what I feel like writing. Okay, but I feel you should put more effort into it. If when you're planning a real application, when you're on a real application, put more effort into it. So I would just say I wish to see my brother and his family after being away from them for over 7 years. You know what I talked about when I said when you tell one lie, you have to continue lying to cover up that first lie. Yeah. hmm don't judge me, please. You're the one that said I should teach you. I should show you UK. Okay, let's continue. Don't mind me, please. People financially dependent on you. That could be children under 18, children over 18 who live with you at home. That is basically anybody that is dependent on you financially. Okay, older relatives who need you for accommodation or other support. Yes. Now, be truthful about this. Okay, be truthful. All right. Save and continue. About your dependents. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is, maybe write that you have a dependent mother. Let me reduce this, sorry. A dependent mother or something, because this is also one way of, making sure that you assure them that you have ties to your country. Do you get where I'm going with that? Yes. So if you write that you have a dependent mother, that is good because they say, okay, now she's going to come back to her country if she has, a dependent mother, right? So you're just gonna write mother. But if you don't have a dependent mother, please don't write mother. I'm just saying, I selected this option so that you guys can see it, right? Okay. Given names, Teresa. I'm just popping names out of my head, really. Just popping names out of my head. How old should she be? Let's see, 1404. Don't mind me, I just use 14th April for everything, like the dummy things. I use 14th April. 19, Let's not waste time here. Let's not waste time here. Let me just choose 1954. I don't even know how old that is, but yeah, Yes, she currently lives with me. Is this person traveling with you to the UK? No. Yeah. So that way they would say, okay, she has a dependent mother. Um, yeah. So we can let her go because she would definitely come back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's talk about parents now. It's now asking about parents, okay? So let's give them information about our parents, right? So the name of your mother, what did I write before? Teresa, right? Yeah. Teresa Wealth, right? Date of birth. Oops, what did I write before? I know I wrote 14th April, but I can't remember the year. I think it was 54 or something. Country of nationality, Nigeria. Have they always had the same nationality? Let's choose yes. Okay. She hasn't always had the same nationality, but I don't have that strength. Not as if I don't have the strength, but it's very rare when you see that somebody has changed nationalities. So, for the purpose of this teaching, of this session, I will not bother, writing, and giving those plenty details since it's a very rare case. I'm trying to focus on cases that are not very rare. You understand? Okay, so father, let's look at father Emmanuel. Well, yeah, I'm sure somebody is thinking this girl is so lazy. Can't you just think of another name aside from Emmanuel? I know I'm quite lazy. I know. Please bear with me. 14th April, 19, let's say 54 as well. It's the dummy application, guys. Like, I'm not even going to pay visa fees for this. Like, of course, I won't. Have they always had the same nationality? Yes. Save and continue. Like, it's a dummy application, okay? So don't attack me, please. Family who live in the UK. Now, remember we talked about, the person who is meant to sponsor. A lot of times, people who are going to the UK are sponsored by the same person that's inviting them. So I'm just gonna include his name there. Okay, my brother's name there because he lives in the UK. So yeah, the dummy brother, the dummy brother, because I don't have any brother in the UK. Please don't tell them. Okay, they're gonna be so mad at me for lying this much in order to teach you guys this. But just bear with me. The lies. Country of nationality Nigeria. What permission do they have to be in the UK? They have a, let me say they are in the UK permanently, okay? Just, their passport number. Let me choose this. I don't know whose number this is, but, let's just keep moving with the lies. Okay, I'm not going to mention the lies again because it's now becoming too much, basically. Do you have any other relatives who live in the UK? Now, if you have other relatives who live in the UK, at this point, you would say yes. They would ask you to give the same information that you gave for the first person. Okay, it's the same thing. And then after that, they will now ask who you're staying with. Okay, they will show you the two names that you filled, and then they will ask you which of them are you staying with. So you will now choose, right? But for the sake of this application, not to make it too long, we will just choose no and move on. Okay, now look at the progress that we have made. This is number one, the start, number two, the application, number three, the documents, and then number four, the declaration, number five, payment, number six, further actions. Further actions means booking your appointment, etc., etc. Okay, now let's continue. Will you be traveling to the UK as part of an organized group? No. Now, if you're traveling as part of a company, a sports group, and so on and so forth, a study group, let's say you're going for like a summer vacation or, a semester abroad, that kind of thing, you choose yes, and then you give the details that they need. But in this case, no, we're not. So we're just going to visit family. So we're just going to continue, to the next. All right. So please note that this is just a dummy application, but ensure that whatever application you're on, you ensure that whatever application you're on, you put in your best. Basically, make sure you put in your best. Will you be traveling to the UK with someone who is not your partner, your spouse, or your dependent? No, I won't. Save and continue. All right, so let's move on. Staying with family. Who will you be staying with in the UK? Now, you remember I said if you mention two or three people, two or three contacts in the UK, their names would be listed down here. Because I mentioned only one person, his name is here, so I would save and continue. All right. All right, so let's go on. Their UK telephone number. Oh, thank you, Lord. There are numbers here because I don't want to start thinking so much, of okay, whose number do I guess now, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use the word lie. All right, so their address, I think we chose number 13, right? Okay, 15. Yes, 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 yes. Kesgrave. Yes. Postcode, I don't really know the postcode, so let's move on. Date you will arrive. I think we chose 1st of March, right? Yes, 1st of March 2024 to I think 1st of February, right? 2024. Oh, sorry. Sorry. 1st of April rather, 2024. Yes. So let's continue. His contact details. Oops, 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 oops. Enter the postcode. What is the postcode for Kesgrave? Sorry, let me quickly Google it. Kesgrave post code. I'm supposed to know it, but I think it's Ipswich something. I can't really remember. Yeah, IP5 something. Yeah, I remember. That was an application I made, I think, last year or so. Wow, it's still here. Amazing. No, 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 not last year. I think early this year. Will you be staying anywhere else in the UK? No. Save and continue. You see the reason why you need all your details because you can't jump some things. Have you been to the UK in the past 10 years? Now, quickly, if you say yes, rather, if you have been to the UK before and you say yes, it's going to ask you the details, like how long ago was it since you were in the UK? How long did you stay and all that? Okay, it's going to ask you all those questions. So you fill it in. How long did you stay? When was your entry date? When was your exit date? How long was your visa? And so on and so forth. So it's going to ask you all those questions. But because we want this application to not be too long, I know we've spent a lot of time already. So because we don't want this application to be too long, I'm just going to move on. Okay? I'm just going to move on and say no. So if you choose yes, for those people who have been in the UK in the past 10 years, when you choose yes, you feel all those things, they're going to ask you. So make sure you have your passport handy, to show the history of your travel, basically. Okay? Please do not forget, have your passport handy. All right? Now, let's continue. Whew, Lord Jesus, I hope you guys are having fun. If you have any questions, please place it in the description. I keep saying description. Please place it in the comment section, okay? I'll go there and I will respond. Okay, so let's continue, shall we? Travel to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, USA, Switzerland, or the European Economic Area. No, no, no. How many times have you visited the following places in the past 10 years? 0. Let's choose 0 and continue. All right. World travel history. Have you been to any other countries in the past 10 years? Now, if you have, right, you would say yes, and then they would ask you, and you put in the details and all that. Okay? Please do not forget and say no. Ask your client. If you're a travel agent, ask your client the countries they have been to in the past 5, 10 years. It's better to ask them about 10 years, Ask them countries they have been to in the past 10 years. Some countries ask for only 5 years history. Some countries ask for 10 years. So ask your people, all right? Ask your clients. All right, so let's talk about your immigration history. I think we're still under application, but we're almost done with application. For either the UK or any other country, have you ever been refused a visa, refused entry at the border, refused permission to stay or remain, refused asylum, deported, removed, required to leave, excluded, or banned from entry. Now, one funny thing is that some people might think that this is funny. I have had clients who have been banned. I have a client who was banned from the UK for, I think, 5 years or so. I have somebody who was actually deported. I have had a client who was refused a visa. Of course, a lot of us have had clients who were refused a visa or denied a visa. I've had clients who were refused asylum. That is, they were refused asylum and they came to me, basically, not as if we applied for them. I've had clients who were either banned and they came to me, or they were refused asylum and they came to me, and they're like, okay, how do we sort this, how do we do this? Okay, this is my history. They've had history of being banned, they've had history of being deported, they've had history of being refused asylum. And then, because they were deported, we had to figure out ways to go around their travel, how to sort it out, where they can travel to. We had that discussion. Okay, what are the countries you can travel to that this deportation will not affect you? Okay, can you still travel to that same country? And so on and so forth. You understand? So, yeah. Now, let's say no, because I haven't experienced any of this personally. If you have experienced any of them personally, you choose and say yes, and then you explain, okay? Because they might ask you details. They definitely would ask you for details. So you explain, okay? Now, let's move on. Have you ever entered the UK illegally, remained in the UK beyond the validity of your visa or permission to stay? Now, this is a serious issue, okay? That's why I tell people, ensure that you don't stay beyond the validity of your visa or permission, okay? My friend actually went to the US. She was sick. She went to the US, and I think because she was sick, she couldn't come back when she was meant to. And then she stayed beyond her validity and didn't even apply for maybe an extension or something. You understand? Guess what? When she wanted to go back again, I think for treatment or something, she wanted to go back again because she was actually getting better while she was there. She wanted to go back again and she was denied. Okay, she was denied. That's why I'm saying the fact that you went to a country the first time might not even guarantee that you will be allowed to go in again. There are some things that you might have done that first time in that country that told them, nah, 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 we've learned our lesson. This person is not coming back to our country anymore. I'm just saying it on a lighter note, but it's a serious issue, okay? Because why I say visa applications, are serious issues, and so you shouldn't even apply when you're feeling sleepy, is because it is going to be your track record. Your name is going to be there under denied applications. So for once in maybe your lifetime of applications, you were denied a visa, your name is going to be there. Your name is going to be in their record for what you did. Okay, so that's why I say, please, whatever you're doing, ensure that you are very alert and very awake when you apply for visas, and ensure that you adhere to their instructions and their requirements and their guidelines and their policies, okay, when you go to their country. All right, so please do not remain beyond your validity period, especially when there is no policy that protects you, okay, because there are some policies that might even protect you just a bit. Let's say for Canada visit visa, you apply for a visit visa to Canada and you say, okay, let me switch to work permit. Okay, you can quickly apply for your work permit, you switch, and then you stay back. But in a situation where you know that in that country you don't have any hope, or there's no policy protecting you, saying that okay, you can switch your visit visa, please try and come back. Okay, try and come back so that you don't keep hiding, because you become an illegal and you keep hiding, jumping from pillar to post whenever you see the police and everything. Okay, so let's say no, because we haven't done any of this. Have you ever breached the conditions of your leave? For example, work without permission, or received public funds when you did not have permission? Will they actually say yes if they have done this? Seriously, have you ever given false information when applying for a visa, leave to enter, or leave to remain? Have you ever breached UK immigration law in any other way? No, we haven't. Okay, so let's go on. But if any of these is your situation, please say yes and then explain. Okay, always say yes and explain. Now, at any time, have you ever had any of the following in the UK or in another country? Okay, please be mindful of the questions they're asking. Okay, the other one, they said, have you ever overstayed in the UK? Right? If they said, have you ever overstayed in any other country? If they asked you, have you ever overstayed in any other country? Please say yes if you have, no matter what country it is, right? And give details, okay? They would actually applaud your truthfulness, better than if you actually overstayed in a country and then you say no and then they get to find out. Okay, that would be crazy. Okay, but if you were truthful, they would applaud your honesty and truthfulness. Okay, and you don't even know which countries share data basically. Okay, like some people might not even know that Canada and USA are so close that if you do something in the US and you move to Canada, they would find out basically. Okay, I think I gave an example of that in the intro video. If you've not watched the intro video, please go watch it. Okay. Now let's continue. Have you ever had any of the following in the UK or in another country? A criminal conviction, penalty for driving offense, and so on and so forth. Arrest or charge, a caution, a warning, a civil court judgment, a civil penalty issued. No, I have never had any of these. That is definitely what we're selecting because we are law-abiding citizens, right? All right, so let's move on. War crimes. In either peace or wartime, have you ever been involved in or suspected of involvement in war crimes and crimes against humanity or genocide? No, please. Now, if you want to read information about war crimes, this is where to click. And then you come here and say, yes, I have read all the information and I can affirm that I have not been a part of any war crime. Okay? Now let's go on. Terrorist activities. If you're not sure what terrorist activities mean, this is where to go and read about it. Okay, before you answer the question, be sure that you are not part of it, right? Have you ever been involved in, supported, or encouraged terrorist activities in any country? No. You can also read about terrorist organizations here because this question is about terrorist organizations. They took their time to show you what these things mean so that you will not come and say, oh, I didn't know, sorry, oh, I'm sorry. Have you ever been a member of or given support to an organization which has been concerned in terrorism? No. Have you by any means or medium expressed views that justify or glorify terrorist violence or that may encourage others to commit terrorist or other serious criminal acts? No. I have now you're affirming here that you have read all the information about terrorist activities, organizations, and views, including the guidance. Right. So let's continue. Now, one thing I want to quickly point out, okay, before we go on, okay, it's extremely important. You need to watch what you write on social media. Okay? You might think, oh, these people, how will they find me? Blah, 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 blah. They have their ways, my darling. They have their ways. Your phone number is here, your email address is here. They have their ways of finding you. Let me just put it that way. Okay? They have their ways of finding you. So watch what you write on social media. For all of you that are always insulting your country or insulting foreign countries or writing things against the queen or, writing things against the king, writing stuff against, other countries, it might come back to bite you in the back. Okay, you might even have forgotten about that post. For those of you who have no problem posting crazy nude photos or half nude photos, and then you come here and tell us that you are a COO or a bank manager or whatever. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just telling you what is. It's either you, how do they put it? If you can't beat them, join them, right? If you can't, it's either you succumb to it or not. It's either you abide by it or not. You can't be here trying to prove yourself as a responsible person, in quotes, saying you're a branch manager of a bank or something, and then they go to your social media and all you're posting is nude photos or half nude photos, or you're selling your body and all that. They just don't align. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you shouldn't do what you want to do with yourself or with your life, but one thing I normally ask my clients, how does your social media look? Okay, because this is the application you want to make, you're trying to apply for this, and then your social media is something else. Don't worry, in the conclusion video, I will tell you a couple stories of people, what they said about how their social media either helped or destroyed their application. We're just gonna talk about some reasons why people get denied and some some very flimsy, crazy reasons. Social media is one of them. You would be shocked, but social media is actually one of them, especially countries like the USA. Social media, trust me, you know that the US does not really give you reasons, right? But then if you go back and you think and you look, you would know, basically. Okay, so let's continue. Have you ever been a member of or given support to an organization which is or has been concerned with extremism? No. If you don't know anything about extremism or you don't know what it means, you can check here. They have given you links, okay, explaining, what these things are. So let's just breeze through and move on. I have read all the information about extremists. Yep, yep, yep. Let's go on. A person of good character. What was I saying just now? It's like like I don't even know. I never knew that this was going to be next. Trust me, please, don't blame me. Trust me, I never knew. Okay, a person of good character. Have you, as part of your employment or otherwise, undertaken paid or unpaid activity on behalf of a non-UK government which you know to be dangerous to the interest or national security of the UK or its allies? No, please. Have you engaged in any other activities which might indicate that you may not be considered to be? This question is quite funny, and I think you know why. Because, I mean, good character is relative, but let me not go into that, okay? I don't want to be philosophical here. Okay, but no, as far as I'm concerned, I have not done anything to question my character as a human being. Is there any other information about your character or behavior which you would like to make us aware of? Wow. As in, they're serious about this, character and behavior, right? Okay, so, sorry, let me just adjust my pillow. Okay. All right, employment history. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Have you ever worked for any of the following types of organizations? The armed forces, um, so you just look through this list, see if you've ever worked for any of them, either as a career or a compulsory national or military service, armed forces, government, including public or civil administration, and non-military compulsory national service, intelligence services, security organizations, media organizations, judiciary. I have not worked in any of the jobs listed above, so we're gonna select this, okay? For, because the application, we want to not make this video too long, this session too long. We will click that, okay? But if you have, please add details, okay? Add details. Now they're asking a question because we're at the end of the application now. I think we're at the end, yes, hopefully. I'm 99% sure that we're at the end of the application, not the whole application. I mean, this module number 2, which is application. Additional information about your application, okay? If you needed to add more information about your application but you were not able to, you can write it here. If there is no further information you want to add, click the Save and Continue button. Okay, so what do you want to add? Do you want to talk about your brother? Do you want to talk about the person you're visiting? Do you want to talk about anything at all? Anything you want to add that you want to tell them? What do you want to tell us? If there's nothing, you move. Okay, they were even generous to give us 1,000 characters. Okay, so you can tell all your stories. Now, this is to check your answers before you continue to the next section. Now, look at this. They have, like, it's grouped into different sections. Okay, you can change here. This is the change button. If you scroll down, you will see that the change buttons are here, on the far right. Okay, so, questions about your personal information, it's here. This add button is for you to add your telephone number. Remember, we only inserted, oops, I mistakenly clicked it. Let me go back. Remember, we only inserted one telephone number. Okay, let me just save and continue. I mistakenly clicked on it while trying to show you. So we inserted only one telephone number. So we're just gonna keep moving, 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 moving. All right. So basically, this has to do with everything you inserted, everything you wrote. Okay, they brought everything out, the history of everything that you've inserted so far, everything we've typed in so far. Okay, so if there's anything you want to change, now is the time to change it before we move forward. Okay, So yeah, let's just move forward. Yeah. So if there's anything that you forgot to add or you were supposed to write or something, this is the time to actually put it in. So let's continue. Now we've moved to number three, documents. Now, yeah, number three. Now, this is the list of documents that we need. Okay. These documents are mandatory and you must provide them as part of your application. Tick the box to agree that you will provide each document. So this one, passport or travel documents from for Esther Zuriwell from Nigeria, yes. Evidence of funds available to you, yes. These are other documents. Okay, so this one is the mandatory one, this first one, and the other documents are, trust me, they are also mandatory. Don't let anybody tell you that they are not. Most of them are also mandatory because if you don't have evidence of funds, how do they know that you are able to take care of yourself, right? Either evidence of funds from you or evidence of funds from well, yes, the company could provide evidence of funds if they want, or the person that is inviting you. Okay, the person inviting you would also have evidence of funds to give you. If that person has indicated in the invitation letter that they are taking care of you, they have to provide evidence of funds. Okay, now evidence of support you will receive from your sponsor, including details of what support is being provided and how. This can also be in the invitation letter. Okay, evidence of support, including details of what support is being provided. That is the support of maybe accommodation, support of finances, support of flight tickets. Yeah, it's going to be here. Evidence of the relationship, if any, between you and your sponsor. So, for example, he is my brother. I might have to provide my international passport or my birth certificate or something to show that he is my brother. You understand? Now, evidence that your sponsor is not or will not be in breach of UK immigration laws at the time of your visit. This means that you have to show that he is also, maybe he has a study permit, he has a work permit, or better still, he has an ILR. If he has any of these, you have to show evidence that he is not breaching the immigration laws, inviting you over. Or during that period of time that he's inviting you over, he's not breaching any laws. Okay, invitation from your UK-based family or friends and evidence of their permission to be in the UK. It's basically almost the same thing. Okay, so now after you submit your application, you provide your documents to our commercial partner, that is through TLS. Okay, you upload your documents and everything, or you take your documents where they would scan them for you for a fee. We already talked about that. Assisted service or self-service, right? Now, if you choose to pay for the assisted service, your documents need to be in A4 size, okay? Now, you will need to take the original of your passport to the appointment, okay? Now, let's go on. Now we have moved to number four. Do you see how short number three was? Like very short and straight to the point. I like that. All right. Now let's look at the visitor conditions, the conditions of your visit. If your application is successful, there will be conditions on your visa or leave to remain. Okay. This would include, for example, whether you are able to work in the UK. If you stay in the UK without permission, you can be detained, you can be prosecuted, you can be removed and banned from returning to the UK. So you just read all these things, okay? I don't want to make this longer, okay? So it says you should leave the UK when your visa ends. If not, you may be removed and banned from the UK. And sure, it is very, very true. You may be banned for a couple of years, okay? So please don't joke with this. So you click on this, I confirm that I understand and accept these conditions, okay? And please understand and accept the conditions. Now, this is a declaration. Okay, it's basically saying that you understand and you agree to all the terms and conditions, you understand what is going on here, and so on and so forth. Now, I confirm that I am the applicant aged 18 or over, I am the applicant aged under 18, I am the parent or legal guardian of the applicant. That is if you're applying for a kid or a child, maybe going on semester abroad or something, or I am submitting the form on behalf of the applicant. If you click on this, you may have to provide your own details. Okay, so as a travel agent, you might just want to stick to this first one. Okay, yeah, you might want to stick to that first one. But if you want to, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying you might have to stick to the first one, okay? So now check your answers, okay? Check your answers. Basically, the declaration, okay? So you continue. Now we have come to the end of our dummy application because, after here, you will have to make payments. Now, these are the visa lengths, okay? The length of the visa. 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Okay, now I always advise as a first timer, don't be going to ask for 2 years. Don't be going to ask for 5 years. Oga, calm down. Don't mind me, I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding. I'm being serious. Apply for a 6 month visa if this is your first time. Okay? Yeah, it is your first time applying for a visit visa to the UK. Apply for a 6 month visa, save and continue. Okay, it's just like they don't know you from Adam and you want to stay in there, you want to apply for a 2 year visa to their country. Apply for 6 months. When you abide by their rules for that 6 months, you can now go back and apply for 2 years. You understand? Now, you have chosen a 6 month visa. Based on this choice, the costs for this application are standard service, 145 USD in total. Most people get a decision within 15 working days after attending their biometrics appointment. UK Visas and Immigration will contact you if it will take longer to process your application. So let's save and continue, okay? Now, time to make payments. 145 USD, Esther Zuriwelt application for visitor visa. All right, Esther, you should only move to the next page if you have checked your answers and you are ready to submit your application, right? Once you select continue to WorldPay, you will not be able to return and edit your application, all right? So these are the options. Is it that you continue? Now, all this while that we have been saving and continuing, we have been seeing these two. Either continue, save and continue, which was a green button, or return to this application letter, or later, rather, return to this application later, or show and edit answers. All right, so if you click on return to this application later, let's do that because I can't go forward from this, right? So let's do this one. Return to this application later. You'll see what they would say. Now, I am doing this because there are some people that might want to continue the application the next day or the next few hours. Maybe you want to go and eat and come back, right? Now, look at what it says. At any point in your application, if you click on that link, return to this application later, this is what it says, okay? Now, it would email this link to your email address so that you can use that link to return to your application. Remember, I mentioned it. If you email this link to your email address, all you have to do tomorrow when you want to come and start, resume your application, all you have to do is go to your email inbox, click on that link, enter your email and password to continue your application. So I'm going to click on the button, email this link. Okay, so it has sent an email to this email address that I used. All right. So tomorrow, if I want to maybe go back and start that application or rather resume the application, all I have to do is go back there, click on the link and resume. You understand? All right. So I will now sign out. And it says what? You have signed out. All right, guys. So it has been a nice and amazing journey with you guys. Yeah, if you stayed till the end, please drop your favorite emoji in the comment section. And if you stayed till the end, thank you so much for giving me over 1 hour of your time. So please be as thorough as possible. And I'm going to be dropping links to some videos that might also help you. I'll be pre-recording those videos, okay? They're going to be short videos, 5-minute videos, talking about some things that I might have missed out here, talking about what the visa officer really wants from you, why they ask some of these questions that they ask about your POF, about your job description and everything. I'm going to be making, some short videos just to help you with your application because like I said, it's not just about creating an application. It's about making sure that you are thorough with your application and you not just say, okay, this is what they want, let me provide it for them. No, knowing why the visa officer is actually asking these questions, it's very essential to know why this country is asking you these questions. Okay, so thank you guys. If you stayed till the end, drop your favorite emoji in the comment section and I will respond with an appreciation note for you. Okay, take care of yourself and see you in the next country. Ciao.